Alright, a pretty phenomenal counter move from my opponent. They had this card called Monka Balatro, who used its passive upon summon, replacing the enemy guardian in the opposite lane. So, he placed it in the stronghold lane, and that completely removed the Baolan Sentinel I had here, thereby getting rid of the shield and the fury that we had, and it puts the Baolan Sentinel at the bottom of my deck. We do still have board control, but it's not very convincing because we have the 3 cards on the field. 2 of them are going to be defeated and sent to my discard pile by the end of this turn due to their burn. And I do still have a Monka Balatro out of it, but we kind of need more than that. So let's draw and see if we can finish things. Alright, sadly we've got a very low cost card here, so not much I can do. All I'm going to have to do is attack with the Baolan Sentinel, killing the Monka Balatro. And with my Monka Balatro and Hate Watcher, I will also use 2 more DZ points to attack their stronghold, for a total of 9. So we've got them on the ropes, but sadly that means that these 2 cards will be defeated at the end of my turn. So what I'm going to do, instead of letting this Hate Watcher go down, I'm going to actually replace it by placing this Mugger on this lane. When you place another Guardian in place of something that's already fielded, it just straight away sends it to the discard pile. You'll notice that this Mugger has Sneak and Rush class, so technically I could do something straight away if I wanted to. Just to be safe, I'm not going to, and I'm just going to hold a Stealth card in this lane. Because this Sneak card comes out at Stealth, it makes the other cards unable to strike it. But that also means that if they want to attack this outpost, my enemy can do so. Nothing else I can do on this turn, so I'm just going to end it. And that does discard my Baolan Sentinel, as well as the Bag of Salt. And we'll see what our opponent can do from here. So it's our next turn, and the opponent placed down a Turret Crusher through the use of playing first. He didn't have enough SP, but playing first, like we did earlier in the game, allowed him to play up to a 3 SP cost card for free. Now, Turret Crusher has a Rush class ability, and Turret Crusher killed my Monka Balatro in the middle lane, because it had just enough attack to do so, and then he ended the turn. So I'm going to draw a card, and we'll see what we get. I've got Fog of War, our first field card. Now, Fog of War is a very interesting field card because it actually has an activation cost unlike most field cards. And this works perfectly with my Mugger. So what I'm going to do is, for free, I'm going to place down the Fog of War. I'm going to use 1 DZ point to basic attack the Turret Crusher, and that deals 5 damage. And what that would normally do is bring Mugger out of stealth, which it does. But I'm going to use another DZ point to reapply Stealth through the field card effect. Sadly, because I don't have any cards that I can use in my hand, I've got to end turn, but at least we did 5 damage to the Turret Crusher. So Turret Crusher didn't have anything that it could attack because Mugger was back in Stealth. He's ended his turn by attacking the Stronghold and didn't play anything else. So let's draw another card. So very lucky for me, I drew a rare card, and it is exactly the cost I have available. I have 2 summon points, so for 2 SP, I'm going to place down Zammut in the middle lane. As it's a rush card, I can use its ability immediately, and its ability is, for 6 DZ points, I can copy itself into another lane. So with this card, I use the ability, so that depletes the basic attack. But I can basic attack with this card, and I still have Mugger and the Fog of War for another round. So what I'll do with the Mugger is I'll attack his Turret Crusher and kill it for 5 damage. And with Zammut, I'm going to use another DZ point to attack the Stronghold for 5 damage. And with my remaining 2 DZ points, I'm going to use the Fog of War to reapply Stealth to both of these cards. And upon ending my turn, the Fog of War will go to the discard pile because both of the rounds have been depleted. So great news for me. Again, my opponent decided to just pass, so he mustn't have anything that he can play in his hand currently. Let's have a look at the next card that we draw. So I drew PB Pace, which is fantastic for me. Sadly, I don't have Fog of War to reapply Stealth to these cards, but I think it is worth attacking the Stronghold with full force at this stage. I'm going to give the Fury effect to this card. So for 3 DZ points, that gets discarded, but Fury is now in effect. And I will simply use 1, 2, 3, 4 basic attacks across all 4 of my 5 damage Guardians to attack the Stronghold for 20. That does mean that Stealth is gone on each of these Guardians, but we have them on the ropes at 16 health on the Stronghold. If you can't do anything in the next round, we have lethal once again. So let's go ahead and end turn and see what he does. So my opponent played a really strong defensive round there. In the middle lane, he's now got his big brother Kobold with 40 health, 10 attack, and it is a tank, which means that all of my cards here have to direct damage to him. On top of that, he put down a gold gift box, which grants him shield, immunity to poison, and heals himself for 5 HP. And that happens every single round. So that'll definitely buy him some time. Let's go ahead and draw a card and see if we can fix this. We drew Bag of Gifts, so I'm going to use the 4 DC points to get those 2 cards. And the next 2 cards I draw are Turret Crusher, and look at that, first. So we have a selection of cards that we could use. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to use his own move against him. I'm going to use First, and I'm going to play in the middle lane Monka Balatro, which does kill this Zamut Mirage Master. That puts it into the discard pile, and same as the first, but I basically got out a free 3 cost, which does the same thing to him that he did to me earlier in the game. It replaces this card, putting this to the bottom of his deck, removing that big threat and placing down another Monka Balatro in the middle lane. And what I'll do from here is just use 2 more DZ points to attack for 5 with Zamut, 5 with the Mugger, and get that guy into the discard pile. Well, very annoyingly, this guy is on the ropes, but just surviving every single time. They played Turp Mando, and they played a Warhorse, giving this card a 1 attack, 11 health. However, when this card is defeated, all Guardians receive equal damage to the highest attack on the field. So if I kill Turp Mando, which I will need to, as it stands, everybody will take 6 damage. We'll see what happens. Let's go ahead and draw a card, and we got Door to Darkness, so we've got our legendary, and we have played 3 sneak class cards, so we can actually use this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attack with Mugger for 5 damage. I'm going to attack with Monka Balatro, killing the Turp Mando and setting off its effect. So not only is the Warhorse discarded, the Turp Mando is discarded, but the Mugger is discarded. And each of these cards take 6 damage due to Turp Mando's effect. All Guardians receiving equal damage to the highest attack on the field, which was Monka Balatro's 6. And then with my remaining card that I can use, I will attack the Stronghold for 5, and we'll end the turn there. And my opponent passed immediately because they couldn't play anything else in their hand, which means we do have exactly lethal. We're going to attack with Zamut for 5 damage, and Monka Balatro winning me the game, basically a card of the match. Exactly 11 damage there, and that's the game, everybody. So I hope this game was easy for you to follow along with. There's a lot of nuances that you really have to just get into and play, read the cards, build your decks, and make the best for you. I have a lot of fun playtesting this. I've had a lot of play testers tell me the same, and I hope you do too. So download Guardian Realms through the Steam Workshop of Tabletop Simulator if you haven't picked up the game yet. Make sure you get it. And tell me what you think of Guardian Realms, because I would really love to know your opinions on this game. I am very keen to get this not only as a physical version, but as a digital standalone game on Steam within the next few months. But that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time. See you later.